Welcome back, everybody, to Real Talk Realty Podcast, where we put the real in real estate. You are with your host, JD.
And Gabby.
And Louie.
And it is the first Real Talk Realty Podcast of 2026.
It's a brand new year.
Brand new year, brand new market, brand new goals, and we're going to talk about all of that today. Honorable mention, I just want to put this out there. It's been a little over a year since we started the podcast.
That's correct.
And the idea began we were planning it in 2024, but it was at a meeting where we were discussing our goals for 2025. And Gabby and I and Louie raised our hands and we said, let's do a real estate podcast where we talk about the market locally, where we talk about the trends and all this stuff. And it was a great idea and we executed it well. I think we showed up.
Let us know in the notes.
Let us know if we executed good. But yeah, so I'm very excited about that. I'm looking forward to another fruitful year of great content for you guys, and we're going to try to keep it relatable, relative to what's going on in the market, and informative so you guys can take that information and make the best decisions possible for you and your family.
Right. So we know there's a lot of people out there that are thinking of putting their house on the market in 2026.
Absolutely.
And we had a meeting today at our office, and we were discussing when is the good time to really think about putting your house on the market. Usually, on the average, most people wait till April, May.
Yep.
But what about February and March?
Boom.
Here's the reason. April, May is where everybody puts their house on the market, correct?
Absolutely.
And if you're thinking out of the box, you would probably consider February, March, it's spring, right? It's getting close to spring, and you would eliminate the fact of having competing with all the other people trying to sell their house.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So what are your thoughts on that?
I 100,000% agree with that. Couldn't have said it better than Louie. I mean, the idea of when you talk to people and you say, hey, you hear somebody's thinking about selling their house. Oh, I'm going to put it up in the spring. Everybody's first kind of idea behind that is, the grass is green and the flowers are blooming and the buyers are out there. And yes, while that is all true, and that is not necessarily a bad time to list your home, it's just, I feel and we feel it's not near as good as that February and March timeline. And the reason behind that is because that is the sweet spot. Buyers are already planning their 2026. They're already getting excited. They've already talked to their spouses and their family members about, this is the year we're going to buy a home, right?
Especially now because, as you said at the beginning of our podcast, the market is changing.
Yeah.
Those interest rates have slightly gone down.
Yeah.
A year ago, we were at 8%.
Yeah.
And right now, we're at 6.1.
6.1, which is much lower than it was even 2 years ago and a year ago. So if you're looking, and you're looking at specifically rates and you're rate conscious, then you will see that this is the lowest rate we've had in a couple of years. But, you want to put your home out there. The market right now, our month's inventory is just over 3 months. So it's still technically, if you're looking at it, because I think a buyer's market is 6 months.
Yeah.
A year ago it was below 2.
But a year ago it was below 2, and then 2 years ago it was below 1. So it's gone up, and it's gone up, which is a great opportunity for buyers. But that being said, if you're a seller that is trying to capitalize and squeeze every last dollar out of your home, I would list it in a time where not everybody else is listing their homes.
Correct.
That is so true. So February, March.
And that leads me to my next point. The beautiful thing about a February and March timeline to listing your house is now it's January 6th right now. And that gives you about a month or a little more than a month to start working on getting your home ready. And so what does that entail, right? That's going to entail a few things. It's going to entail getting your home professionally cleaned. It's going to entail decluttering your home, getting some of those things off the kitchen counter, preparing for photos.
Depersonalizing,
getting all those family photos that you have all over the house, taking them down, putting them somewhere else, just staging the house.
There's quite a few things that you could do as a seller to get your house ready. And a lot of people overlook those things and they shoot themselves in the foot. If your house needs a fresh coat of paint, if your house needs some new carpet or some of the flooring needs replaced, some of those items will get you more on the table with money, right? And people will come in and look at your house and go, wow, this house is in perfect condition.
Yeah.
And your offers would not be low ball offers because people come in and see all these things that need to be repaired.
Yeah.
And all they see is dollar signs.
Exactly. And to that point, getting your house ready for the market doesn't necessarily mean breaking your back or breaking your bank and spending a ton of money to do all these things. For example, here's something that I think is huge, right? Replacing the hardware in your kitchen. And by hardware, I mean the handles on your cabinets.
The pools.
The pools. You can go on Amazon and for about $75 to $80, I just did it. Listen, I'm no Mr. Fix-It. I just did it in my house. Completely changed the look.
Yeah, not only that, we have on our vendor list a professional cabinet painter.
Yep.
That when she does her painting of
Leah?
all the cabinets, she leaves it looking like it was professionally done from the factory.
Leah, right?
Yeah, Leah.
Leah, shout out Leah. She does a great job. She's like Mrs. Fix-It. She fixes everything. She can paint.
Yep. So one of my clients was selling his townhouse, actually a condo, and the condo was kind of outdated. And she went in there and she repainted the cabinets in the kitchen, changed the pools, and it made a huge difference in the look.
And it didn't cost $1 million.
No.
That's the point.
Right. So little things go a long way.
And the paint, like Louis said, if you gotta, here's a big one that I see a lot of sellers overlooking, and I just don't get it. Some people buy their homes, they have a couple kids, right? They let little Johnny pick out the color of his room, and he picks lime green. Wow. And then they let Sarah pick the color of her room, and it's hot pink.
Hot pink, yeah.
No, it's like, get rid of those colors. Seriously.
Yeah, if you have your house painted and there is a different color on every single wall, come on, like you can't do that. You have to have like a neutral color around the entire house, or people are gonna go in and be like, "What the heck is this?"
Right. All you have to do is look at the models.
Right.
For new sales.
Yeah.
They go in there and they paint the entire house one color.
Yep.
All neutral.
Yep.
Stay away from the grays though. Grays are
agreeable
overdone.
gray is out.
Out. Pick a nice crisp white, or there are hundreds and hundreds of shades of white.
Yeah,
I did not know that. I know that as a buyer's agent, and when I'm taking a buyer through a house, I mean, this happens every time. You walk into a room or you walk into the bedroom and it's this crazy color. And the first comment, every time, it's like you can predict when they're going to say it. Oh, we would have to change that.
Yep.
And you know what that represents in a buyer's mind? Dollar signs.
Dollar signs.
And especially if they're a first-time home buyer, they don't even know what painting costs. They don't know anything. But you being the homeowner and the seller, you know how easy and how affordable it is to just adjust that by painting in a new color. And you're taking one less roadblock out of that buyer's mind when they're touring the home.
Right. So my last sellers, we have their house on the market, went under contract, but the contract fell through. Mm-hmm. One of the reasons is because they did not follow my advice from the very beginning. They did everything else I told them, but they did one thing they did not do.
What?
I said, maybe it would behoove you to change all the carpet.
Yeah. Because
sometimes cleaning a carpet,
it's never, listen.
There's no such thing as cleaning a carpet.
No, I don't care. I know there's people out there that this might be a hot take. You might disagree with this. People go and get Stanley Steamer in there and they clean the carpets.
So they think. And I walk in and I'm like, there was one house where I wasn't even sure if the carpet cleaners had came, and apparently they had. And I walked in, I visually couldn't tell, a difference. It still looked dirty. I touched it and it was a little wet. And I was like, I guess they were here, but it did not look cleaner. But yes. Right. So after that contract fell through, I had another conversation with them and I said, listen, maybe we should think about changing the carpet. Yeah. And it did not cost as much as they thought it was going to be. No, carpet is not that expensive. Yeah. Right? It is not. And so they bought the carpet. We got an installer coming in on Friday to replace all the carpeting in the townhome, and it's going to make a huge difference. Let me ask you this. Do you know how much it's going to cost? I do. How much is it? For an entire townhome of carpet? Yeah. So an entire carpet in the entire townhouse is going to cost approximately $1,100 for installation, and then $2,000 for the carpet and the padding. For $3,000, the entire townhouse is going to have a new floor. And would you like to guess how much that $3,000 investment is going to get them? It's going to make a world of difference. Guess what it does? It not only makes the home look new, but it also makes that new smell. You ever bought a brand new car and you just sat in your car and you go, oh, I love that smell.
Yeah.
Carpeting and paint.
Yep.
Those two things.
That's the scent.
Give your house that new scent.
But I mean, think about it. Like when you're walking through a house, right? Even us as agents, when we're walking through these homes, that's like one of the first things that we notice. We walk in and if the carpet's all stainy, like that's the first thing our eyes kind of go to.
It's the worst.
You know? And then same thing with the walls. If you walk in and you're looking at rainbow walls, you're like,
or what about those like tube lighting things that a lot of the kids are getting? They wrap their entire room in these tube lights, and then when you go to pull the stuff off, the glue rips the paint off. It's just bad. I mean, personally, if I were you, tell the kid no.
Yeah,
you're not getting the tube lights, Jimmy.
No tube lights. No tube lights.
No.
And then the other little small details like the borders on the floor.
Yeah.
Some are dirty. They need refresh painting, and they just those little things go a long way, and people look at that.
And you know who this advice for is the most important for? Anybody who's a pet owner.
Yes.
Or smokers.
Understatement.
Oh my gosh. Like if you have pets, if you have a dog, if you have a cat, first of all, I know cats use litter boxes. Let's be real. Most of the time, I'm not a cat hater. I do like cats. I don't personally own one, but they pee other places.
Yes.
And they stink.
Dogs too.
Dogs too. And then they're ripping up carpet. These little things, by like the edge of a door where they tear it up. These things, the carpet and paint.
And the flooring.
That's what I'm saying.
Like wood flooring. A lot of people have big dogs.
Yeah.
And those big dogs have big paws and big nails. And you can tell when you walk in a house, they have a dog because the floor's
scratched up
everywhere.
Yep.
Those things go a long way.
I've had buyers where I've walked into a listing for a showing and we walk in and they step in the front door, they smell dog or
and then
cat.
They're like, no.
And they say no, and we don't even go through the house. And it's not always because they're just a hater or because of preference. It's like, in this case that I'm talking about, they were highly allergic and they walked in, they said no, and they actually loved the house. They had walked in and she said, this is her words, she said, well, this is such a shame because I looked at all the photos of this house and I know the layout. I know this neighborhood. I really love this house. I just can't do it. And I said, I understand. But that is the kind of thing you could potentially run in on if you have animals in your house and you just say, you know what? Because listen, I heard something pretty interesting one time. They said, you know how when you go on vacation and you come back home and you step in the house, it smells. That smell that you smell when you walk back in your house after vacation, that's what every new person smells.
Right. You just in the house all the time.
Yeah.
And the odor just smells normal to you.
I had a listing one time where the guy had several dogs. He did his best, to keep those dogs in the basement during the course of having the home listed. That way he had a more tinier spot to clean every time that he was getting ready to have a showing. But there was a person that came in and they said there were several people that came in and the feedbacks were coming in. Oh, the house smells like dogs. Oh, the house smells like dogs. And so we actually had to we did like several things. We got one of those, what are those air purifier things that we run?
Yeah.
And
Ozone.
We got like an ozone machine in there. We got a person to come in and clean the carpet and all that stuff. It barely helped.
There's no such thing.
You know what
cleaning.
I mean? So you just replace and repaint and get it done.
So we walked into a house one day with some clients that we opened the front door, we stepped in, and my client almost vomited.
Oh my God.
She didn't even want to go into the house.
Mm-hmm.
That house was so bad that the dogs were allowed to piss not only on the floors, but when a dog lifts their legs?
Yeah, marking their territory.
Yeah, so they marked all the drywall. So all the drywall had to be ripped out of this house.
But I mean, like, why would you even list your house like that? Like, I've seen houses
because
like that
an agent
sit forever and ever and ever.
Well, there's a lot of reasons for that. One of them is the agent doesn't either give them good advice or the customer is...
A lot of times the agents are scared.
Yeah.
Agents are scared.
They don't want to lose the sale.
But it's funny.
But you're not even making the sale because the house is not selling.
That's the ironic part about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's...
Right. So getting your house ready is in the middle of the 3 lists.
Yes.
The top one is the advice that your agent gives you in regarding according to the price.
Yeah.
Price is the top of the line.
And I get it. I remember being a newer agent and sometimes bringing up uncomfortable suggestions to your clients that, it's just an uncomfortable situation. But at the end of the day, think about it like this, all right? You go to the doctor. You want the doctor to tell you why your arm is hurting or why this or that, right? Like the doctor's not going to just beat around the bush and say, oh, yeah, you might have a major infection. And he's just like, yeah,
you'll be all right.
Take some Tylenol.
Yeah, you'll be all right.
That's easy to say, but it's not helping anybody.
Yeah.
So in this situation, that's why an agent, again, is so important. Somebody with the level of expertise and also the volume and the experience to just generally have seen it all, know how to correct it all, that kind of a thing.
And price your home correctly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right? So with that said, pricing the home correctly, staging it, making sure it's all done, right?
Yep.
What's the third thing? Marketing.
Marketing.
And that's where we come in.
That's where we come in. And that marketing is the one part of real estate where not all agents are made the same.
No.
Correct.
And not all agents have access to the type of technology that we at the Crop team are using.
Well, not only agents, teams and brokerages.
Yeah, teams and brokerages. Yeah, exactly. See, it's very easy to throw something on the MLS and call it a day.
Yeah.
Is that the most effective way? No, it's not. It's a combination of many different things that we combine together. First, for example, we have something called reverse prospecting, right? Where we can take a property, one of our sellers' properties, go into our own database, and we can see and our database is massive. And when I say massive, I'm talking about, I would say it probably has a large just chunk of Frederick. I
Yeah.
mean, as far as like if you live in Frederick, I've even seen people come in as a lead multiple times through multiple, we have a huge database. And the reason that matters to you as a seller is that we could take your listing, right? Your media package. So we're talking your photos, your still photos, your videos, your drone footage, any of the 3D walkthroughs that we have put together, depending on your listing. And we could take that entire media package and look in our database, and it will tell us who is the most likely to be interested in your property, and we can then push that media package to them. That's aside from organic marketing that you're going to get by just being on the MLS. Because, newsflash, once you put something on the MLS, it's going to go to Zillow, Redfin, all these other real estate websites. And yes, is that effective? Yes, when it's paired with a bunch of other things.
Yeah.
Right. And Rob, our team leader, the Rob Crop team, he goes beyond the call of duty when it comes to marketing and making sure that your house is listed internationally, nationally, and on all platforms.
Absolutely.
We also run ads. We do our own social media advertising, all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, so you're going to get on Gabby's page, if she's your listing agent, you're going to be all over her Instagram, her Facebook. Then you're going to be all over the internet, Redfin, Zillow, these websites. And then you're going to have your house pushed to all these different buyers that otherwise may not have even seen it. Maybe they don't surf the web, but they're getting a text message with a link to your house. So that is where marketing really sets us apart from other agents out there. And then also the size of our team. And the size of our team. Because
how many times have we sold a house within our team?
Oh my gosh, this year I did more deals than I ever had in my career.
Last year, you mean?
Yeah, I guess you're right. Last year I did more deals with fellow teammates than I ever had in my career. And, we get together every Tuesday. We have our team meetings, and that's generally when you're going to hear somebody say, I have a listing coming up here and there.
Oh, really? I have a buyer for that.
Exactly. Yeah. And exactly. So if you're an agent out there on a lonely island, right, do you want to list with the guy on the lonely island or the one who has an entire community of people that are communicating about real estate on a daily basis?
That makes a huge difference.
The point is you have about a month to start strategizing, start thinking, start
goal setting. So let's talk about some goals. Let's talk about what clients should look at and think of in setting their goals to sell their house in 2026.
Yeah, and buyers.
And buyers, right. That's
because now is the time mentally where many of us are these are the kind of thoughts that we're having in our head. We're thinking about what are our personal goals, what are our wealth building goals, professional goals, fitness goals. It's just, this is the time of the year of goals, right?
Aren't you dry in January?
I'm a dry January guy for the first time ever. Okay, so and it's going really well.
Yeah.
But,
So I guess you won't be drinking at our Keller Williams party.
no, I will not be there.
You will not be there.
Are you going to be there?
I'm going to be there.
Did you RSVP?
So are you telling me that you don't have the discipline to
No.
go to a party
Hey.
and not drink?
Louie, I was at the crop team party this past weekend.
So was I.
So was I.
And everybody had their little fancy glass of wine and their fancy cocktail. Guess what I did for the first time? I ordered a mocktail.
A
Nice
mocktail.
job.
A lavender lemonade.
Is that what I had? I had
I
one
think
of
you
the
had
mocktails.
Oh, God.
Was yours purple?
Wait, no, mine was.
You had
I
something
think
else.
Mine was like a mint
Yeah.
mango one or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, so you had a mocktail too?
Yeah, I don't drink.
You don't drink?
No.
Not even sips? You don't even
No.
get like a glass of wine? Does
No.
Trey?
No.
You want to hear
Really?
You want to hear something
Yeah.
funny?
What?
My wife doesn't drink either, but she does occasionally.
Yeah.
I said, come on, have a drink, loosen up, right?
Yeah.
So we'll order her a nice sweet drink, right?
Yeah.
And she takes a tiny little sip, and about 5 minutes later, my elbows tingle.
God bless her. You know what? The bill's a lot smaller. That way, I'll tell you.
Yeah, for sure.
You get two people that are down in them, I tell you, it gets a little crazy.
Yeah.
But
Let's go back. Let's
What
get
were
back.
we talking about? Because now we don't even
We're talking about 2026 and
Yeah.
Goals,
how
yes.
important it is to start thinking all the things that need to be done
Yes.
and thought of in order to sell or buy a house in 2026.
and my first stab on this topic is going to be prepared. How do you get prepared? You do some research. How do you do the research? Get pre-approved if you're a buyer.
Absolutely. Very first thing
But
you have to
actually,
do.
I think the first thing is to get with an agent
Yeah.
because you can accidentally get pre-approved with a really bad lender, like these big lenders out here that suck that I won't name. But make sure you get with a realtor first so that they can recommend, because as a realtor, we've been in transactions with so many different lenders, so
we know the good ones.
Yeah, we know which ones are
Listen,
good.
we ran the gambit around Frederick. We know who's doing their job and we know
Yes.
who's not.
So,
Right. We also know who doesn't call you back and who doesn't
Correct.
call you on the weekends or
Yes.
doesn't answer their phone. Our lenders
Correct.
answer their phone 24/7.
Yeah, so that's why
Absolutely.
you should get a realtor first and then let them know, like, hey, I haven't been pre-approved. I want to be pre-approved. Who do you recommend? And then go from there.
That's correct.
1,000%.
Yeah.
Good catch, Gabby. I was sitting there, I went a little out of order there. That was good. No, but she's 100% right. The point is that I was making is, you want to be able to have all the information to make a decision. You can't make a decision until you have all the information. So you see buyers and they're like daydreaming, right, about the future home, which is great. You got to get excited about it, but they're daydreaming, and then they go out and they want to start looking at houses, and they see something they really like, and oh my gosh, I love it, I love it, I love it. Then they get the pre-approval after the fact. Oh, well, I can't afford this. It's monthly wise. It's not going to keep me in my budget.
Yeah.
So wouldn't you rather, right? It's like applying for a credit card and you just find out first how much, they're going to be giving you. And then you can get excited about whatever it is that you want to buy because you know how much you have.
Well, it can
Correct.
happen the other way too. If you're not pre-approved and you're asking your agent to go look at houses, and he does out of the
kindness of
kindness of his heart, and you go there and you see this beautiful house, right? And you love it, and you want to make an offer. Well, guess what? You can't
Yeah, you can't even make it
Yeah.
because you don't have an approval from a bank or lender.
10 years ago, it was a totally different market. 10 years ago in real estate, you would just make the offer.
Yeah.
And if it got accepted, then you would start your pre-approval process. That's why there's a financing contingency in there. The things changed several years ago when the market was tight, when there was no inventory, but there was like 6 times more buyers than there were houses. And in order for your offer to be considered, that's when it became standard, amongst the real
approval letter
to have it. And actually some sellers, and even in today's market on high dollar homes, you'll come across a listing where a seller requires a pre-approval before you can even show the house.
Or proof of funds.
Proof of funds. Yeah, if you're a cash buyer, we're going to want to see bank statements, your bank balances, just to show that you can cover the difference or whatever. So the point is, with this podcast and setting the tone for the year, now is the time to gather information. Now is the time to reach out to Louie, Gabby, or myself and say, hey, I've been thinking. And it's okay if you're just thinking about it. You got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah.
That way you're informed.
Exactly. And we're not the type to chase you down When you buying? Listen,
When are you selling?
you tell us your goal and when you want to accomplish that goal, and we're going to just help you and steward you to that accomplishment.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and that's really what it's about. But, so prepare, start thinking about what your goals are. Start writing them down. Write down questions you may have. And then start making the decision to just dip your toe in the water and get in touch with somebody.
I had a client call me, a new lead, call me yesterday. And she said one thing to me. She says, Louis, I just want to talk to a realtor. I am so ignorant when it comes to knowledge and buying and selling a house. I said, well, don't use the word ignorant. You just don't know what you don't know. And then she said, well, can we meet in person so that I can go over all my questions? That's the kind of person you want to be.
Yeah.
Yep.
In order to achieve your goals for 2026.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right?
I couldn't have said it better myself, Louis. That was good.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for joining us, you guys. We love you. We're looking forward to another amazing year talking to you, and there's going to be a lot of fun surprises, a lot of great guests,
It's going to be a great 2026.
Yes.
It really is. I can feel it.
I can feel it.
How's it go?
I don't remember.
Wait, I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh, Lord. Yeah, there we go. So we love you. We'll leave you with that. See you next week. Have a great
Bye,
week, everybody.
guys.
Peace.
Peace.